Alright, welcome to Season 4, Race 20 of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. And boy oh boy, do we have an interesting result here in qualifying. Of course, coming in to this race weekend, Ricardo had won, I think it's like 5th race in a row, I want to say, at the US Grand Prix, to take his win total up to 9 and giving him the championship lead by us over 6 points. Whereas Valtteri Bottas, who was the only other car eligible for the championship, gained points and coming into this race is in a position where he needs to basically finish ahead of both myself and Ricardo to stay alive in the championship going into Brazil. Because in order to do that, he needs to be, basically if he finishes this race in Mexico 51 points or more behind myself or Ricardo, then he's out. Well, look what we have in qualifying. Bottas on pole, Hamilton second, so it's Mercedes front row lockout. Then Renault sweeps the second row with Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. And then I actually, for one of the first times in a long time, I out-qualify my teammate Daniel Ricciardo. It was very close between, basically... Bottas is pretty solidly on pole, but it was pretty close from second down through 11th, if you want to really look at it that way. About half a second. So, of course, we haven't seen what sort of grip penalties we're going to get here. We might get some, but it's interesting. So, certainly adds some bit of spice to this championship, especially if Bottas can convert this pole position into a win. That would be something. Weather looks pretty good for the race, so no issues with rain. I haven't had rain in a race in quite some time, actually. And as you can see by the RD chart, Mercedes are pretty much almost level with us at this point. So yeah, so let us get to the Mexican Grand Prix. Let's see. This start is going to really determine, as it always does, how this race plays out.
Welcome along to the most populous city in North America and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's start by getting your take on Daniel Ricciardo. Everything's on the line here today and the title hangs in the balance. So how do you think they'll be coping with all that pressure?
I think as long as they keep their mind on the task and not its historical significance, they'll be just fine. This is a race just like any other. You do the best you can and accept that sometimes things are going to happen outside of your control. If they can approach today with that attitude, the pressure shouldn't be a problem.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ocon, the owner driver, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Albon, Kvyat, Matsushita and Charles Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, Pierre Gasly and Perez, Stroll, Giotto, Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, Russell, De Vries and Tatiana Calderon.
So the only penalty of significance was Pierre Gasly, which means that myself and Ricardo both get elevated one position. I now start P4, he starts P6.
Just 3 races left. You can still win the driver's title, but you need a strong performance. Come on, let's give it our best shot.
Alrighty. Let's get to it.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want to bog down.
So that grid penalty to Gasly actually puts us, as I check the volume here, and check the race director. Everyone is on softs, I believe. Yep, no surprise there. What did I say? Oh, yes. So that penalty to Gasly really helps us, because it puts us from the inside of row 3 to the outside of row 2. Now, we are on the dirty side of the grid, but crucially, we are a row ahead, and I think we could have a very good shot to take the lead, at least challenge for the lead.
For the time being, conditions looking good.
Going into turn 1. Of course, there's a long run down the front stretch, down into turn 1.
Repeat that, there's interference. The drivers we're fighting here are Ocon and Albon. Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
That was not intentional. At the top, the battle for the championship still very much in play. Between myself and Ricardo, and of course Bottas fighting for his championship life. basically needs to finish ahead of myself
Keep an
and
eye on the lights.
Ricardo.
The start sequence will
Then he
begin
has
as soon as the grid has
his most
formed.
hopes
Be ready
alive.
with the clutch.
Grid lines up. Should be interesting to see how the field shakes out through the first complex of corners. Alright, 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. And we're underway. We're gonna go by Esteban Ocon, hit by Lewis Hamilton. Maybe we can get the slipstream of Bottas. Oh, Hamilton. Oh,
Okay, don't worry about the spin.
that was something. I think I saw a car fly up in the air. Let's see if we can catch a play of that. Oh, Hamilton! Wow, that was something. Let's go back to, I guess it's Kvyat, and see from his perspective. Oh, actually, let's go to the McLaren. Not sure who this is. Norris. Oh, Lewis got launched in the air. Pretty cool crash, but that's not what we're looking for here. Let's go from right here. And we get the lead. And let's see how things turned out after that first couple corners. So I followed Bottas in, and I went to his outside. So what I've experienced here in Mexico is that if I go on the outside of turn 1, I get a lot of speed and traction through right, like basically like a little before where this replay starts. That gives me a big help if I'm side by side with someone. So right here, and then I just squeeze Bottas out. Bottas makes contact, or Hamilton makes contact with Ocon, and then we're through. I think Kvyat tried to make a move on Ricardo that didn't work. And Verstappen is battling with Ricardo. Ricardo and Verstappen still side by side.
Alright, we're looking good so far.
I think Ricardo ended up getting the better of Max. Come back here. Going through the S's. Verstappen had the edge, then Ricardo gets the position. So it's myself, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, and Daniel Ricciardo in the top 5 of the Mexican Grand Prix. Fastest lap of the race, of course. First lap of the race. Here comes Bottas. Doing her best to fight him off. DRS now enabled. Let's make my first save right here. I'll test the inside, but right there, like I said, right around the outside of turn 1, we get a lot of traction that helps us maintain this position. Ricardo currently has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix after 3 laps. I completely messed up the corner complex that time. Now I think for me, the crucial thing that's going to really decide this race after the start is the pit stops, who does what. Because, historically at this track, I've been able to make the one stop work. Basically going from soft to medium. Sort of like Canada, actually. It's actually very similar to Canada in that respect. And the question's going to be who does 2 stops and who does 1 stops. That's going to be really important in this race. Todd's gonna go to the inside. Right there, like I said, that's where we get the traction to hold station, maintain the position. Fiat has gotten himself up to 6th place in his AlphaTauri. Window says lap 10 to 13. I assume that will get extended a little bit. Oh, thank you, Bottas. Thank you, Bottas. Shove Bottas out there a little bit, and that elevates Esteban Ocon into 2nd place. Are they going 3 wide? Oh my god, they're going 3 wide. Are you serious? Is Ricciardo going to jump to P3? Whoa! Whoa! What in the world did we just see back there? So let's take a look at this again. So they're going 3 wide, right? Ricciardo, Bottas, Hamilton. Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas are going 3 wide through this entire tight section of the track. Like, are you serious? Let's go on board with Ricciardo. So what sets it all up is me shoving Bottas wide at the end of that first complex of corners, and that sets us all up. Look at this, just 3 wide through this entire tight section. Great racing, great racing. And I think Hamilton's going to get the better of it as we rewind. Look at that. As tight as you can be. And Hamilton has the better line to that complex of corners there, and that gets in the lead. Or gets in 3rd place, I should say. And here's Bottas, like he's the odd man out. He's got nothing. He's got nowhere to go. It's shoved out. Shoved out by Ricciardo and his teammates. So Bottas, for a guy whose season is on the line, now granted it was partially, my doing, not intentionally, but could Bottas' championship just unraveled right there before our very eyes. Goes from 2nd, or actually goes for the lead, because he did have the lead at one point during that first set of corners as he was trying to overtake me. He went from 1st all the way to 5th. That was pretty amazing. Now back to matters at hand. So
we're approaching the pit window.
Basically, Ricciardo or Bottas has dropped all the way down to 5th, and everyone else has moved up a spot.
At the moment, the car behind us is landing faster than us by around 1
Ocon
second
in
per
his
lap.
Renault. Of course, his teammate Pierre Gasly won the Canadian Grand Prix earlier in the season.
We're at +1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target +1. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
There's the new strategy.
Okay, copy that.
Actually calling me to pit for softs on lap 12. Which I will not be doing. Oh, Ocon coming in with a head of steam. Actually, put the fuel down a little bit just to save. Put it back up to rich mix.
Think you're going to start
straight
losing
away.
some tire grip around now.
Ocon gonna go to the outside. Ricardo and Ocon and Hamilton making contact. I think that's going to open the door for Bottas to potentially make an overtake on Ricardo. Oh, look at that, they're 2 by 2.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button more.
Ricardo holds off Bottas to maintain P4. To another mid-session save. Nope, we got somebody having a problem back there. But one of the Williams is out of the race. That's Nicholas Latifi.
They are out of the race.
Of course, he was in the back. He's out of the way. Should be no worries about a safety car.
Yellow flag. Green flag.
Oh, we got people in the pits already. Actually, it's Ocon. Esteban Ocon in the pits. Very early stop for Esteban. Has a little wing damage, but that doesn't look major enough to cause a change. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton now trying to defend from Daniel Ricciardo. We'll take a look at what Esteban is doing. Looks like it was just a tire change. Oh no, they're going 3 wide again. Oh my god. Are you serious? They're going 3 wide again? Are you kidding me? The second time in this race that Bottas, Hamilton, and Ricciardo have gone 3 wide at the same part of the track. So this time, Ricciardo is the one on the outside, and Bottas is the one on the inside. I think Bottas, maybe. Ooh, I don't know. So we ended the replay a little too early there to get a good look at it. Let's take a look at this camera shot. You just get 3 wide? How do you go 3 wide to this section? Like, I get down the straightaway, the long straightaways, but how do you battle 3 wide that consistently for that part of the track? That's crazy to me. I think Bottas, unfortunately, is not going to win out. Oh, maybe he did. Let's take a look at the replay. So we can continue with this battle. There goes Hamilton. Of course, last time he was in the middle and got the edge. Same thing happens here. And see Bottas and Ricciardo going side by side through the S's, which is going to give Hamilton a huge advantage. But Bottas is going to escape with P3. That was some pretty incredible racing from the AI. Just unbelievable stuff.
In this lap, push now.
So we got a couple cars towards the back half of the pack are pitting now.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
Let's see who. We got a lot of cars towards the back pit, and I presume most of these are for softs if they're pitting this early. So this is Matsushita, and he's in for softs. Gasly is in for softs. Sainz is in for softs. Kyoto is in for softs. So some interesting strategies in play as Esteban Ocon making the best use of his soft tire. So basically, what was I gonna say? Okay, yes. So Esteban Ocon and everyone else who just pitted now is absolutely going for a 2-stop. They pit on soft tires, or they pit into another set of softs, so they have to pit again because he's going into a different compound. Still waiting to see what happens with the rest of the leaders, if they follow Esteban Ocon's lead on that, or they try to stretch it to make it a one-stop race. It's all very interesting on the strategy front. Because we're going to try for a one-stop, we're going to be stretching this out a little while longer. It's like nobody behind us pits. So perhaps Hamilton and Bottas and Ricciardo are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking in terms of strategy. Maybe the same can be said for the Racing Points and the Ferraris, who have also stayed on track. So it's very interesting. Looks like we're going to have a pretty clear, if everyone else behind me does indeed do a one-stop, looks like we're going to have a pretty clear divide between one-stoppers and two-stoppers. So it looks to me like myself and Ricciardo, the Jaguar Racing F1 team teammates, the Mercedes, Hamilton, Bottas, the Ferraris, McLaren, Verstappen, and the Racing Points, Stroll and Perez, are all staying out on track right now, while Esteban Ocon is the first driver who is going to be in the, I guess, P9, because I think Kvyat has stayed out as well. So we'll see what the strategies are here. Does anybody come in behind me this lap? And the answer is no. It's actually you can add Daniel Kvyat to that list as well of drivers who are opting to stay on track right now. As I just caused an incident. Lovely. Oh,
Okay,
jeez!
clear.
What the heck was that? They synchronized spun. Of course, I don't want that. Come on. Come on, Mercedes. You're better than that.
We expect you'll be noticing a bit of grip loss in the tyres around now, so just be careful.
Now again, my window for me, I'm hitting lap 16. That is when I plan to stop. For my only stop of the race. Actually, do the mid-session save here to get that taken care of before the pit stops so we can really get going. Alright, does anybody come down to the pit road this time?
Use your overtake button more, it's time to utilize some of this energy.
Yep, so I'm convinced at this point that the 8 cars behind me, Hamilton, Bottas, Ricardo Kvyat, Verstappen, Leclerc, and Stroll, Perez, whatever order those guys are in, I'm now convinced at this point that they're all doing a one-stop race along with me. Which is going to be interesting, because it's interesting to see. I don't think any of the other two-stoppers are going to have a shot at this race win, aside from Esteban Ocon in the Renault. I think he's the only two-stopper that we really have to worry about in terms of the strategy. Otherwise, I think all those other two-stoppers are not going to be a threat to us in this race. Tire wear, getting up there, but again, I can make it to lap 16, so I'm going to stay out one more lap, and then I'm going to hit pit road. It's going to be interesting to see if other people pit here. Do we have tankers this time? Looks like Bottas got out of shape. Ricardo dives in. So Daniel Ricciardo dives into the pits. So I guess works out for the team. Now they are going to be coming out in front of, behind a lot of the two-stopper traffic.
Understood, stopping this lap.
They did go with the mediums, which is what I expected.
Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Alright, here we go, into the pits. Let's see how things shake out here.
Exit now.
A little slow on the stop.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One
Goes
stop left
Hamilton,
in
and
our
there
strategy.
goes my teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Now's where the real work begins. Hopefully these soft tire runners slow these guys up just enough that I can catch them. Looks like that's exactly what's happening. Oh, Ricardo outside! Championship implications, and we get the move done. We are by Daniel Ricciardo. And that's gonna be oh so crucial for the championship. We need to finish ahead of Ricciardo. Well, we don't need to, but to keep it tight, to keep the gap from extending, we need to be ahead of Ricciardo. Have the help of DRS here, but still will Lewis Hamilton.
P9, you're running in P9. Hamilton ahead, less than a second separate you. They're on fresh mediums. Daniel behind, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. The gap to the leader is 13.5 seconds. Your pit window opens in 9 laps time. 19 laps to go.
Right above the gearbox of Lewis Hamilton. What helps Hamilton a lot is he gets just a great run off the final corner. That's really been my weak spot on this track. Right. Still hoping we can use Norris and Kyoto to our advantage here to get by Lewis Hamilton. Ooh, to the inside! Let's see if we can rework that a little bit. That didn't work either. Outside move, the same move we did on Ricardo! Yes! Come on!
Right, we need to get past
Got
here.
it.
Use overtake. Use overtake.
You're back by Lewis Hamilton into the effective race lead. Oh, here comes Hamilton looking to make a move. Back to the inside. Oh, contact! See if we can turn out a little differently. Maybe do it a little cleanly. Maybe avoid a spin. That works too. Of course, Bottas has to be stated again. He is fighting for his championship life here. He is more than 50 points out of first place. He is effectively out of the championship fight. And it will be just myself and Ricardo deciding it.
Ahead, you're sat in P8. Less than a second separate you. They're on old softs. Hamilton behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. The distance to the leader is 11.8 seconds. 6 laps until your pit window is open. 16 laps to go.
Checking the margins, I wanted to see where we were in relation to Esteban Ocon. Speaking of Esteban Ocon, it looks like he is hitting pit road for his second stop of the race. Of course, he's by himself, which makes sense because he was the first driver in the race to pit. So that will give the lead momentarily to, I believe, Nobuharu Matsushita. We'll check on that. Yep, that is correct. Matsushita leads. The Mexican Grand Prix. Uh-oh. Ricardo making it 3 wide again. Let's have Lando Norris in the mix. Oh, they're squeezing. Norris just a bystander and all that. Ricardo wins out in the end. He's going to get second place.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Alexander Albon is the last car to stand on track along with Lando Norris. That hasn't stopped yet. from here on out, looks like it's going to be a four-way fight for the win. Between myself, Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas.
Albon is in the pits.
Here comes Ricciardo, we're side by side. Shades of the first half of the Mexican Grand Prix last season, when we were battling it out. So Ricciardo had his engine failure that really set him back in the championship.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 18.0. As things stand, we'll be leading the championship. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
We ain't pitting anytime soon,
Some
Jeff.
information on Leclerc. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Here comes Ricciardo to the outside once again. A little bit of contact. Meanwhile, it sounds like Leclerc is having issues on his car. As Jeff just informed me.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
Got Ricciardo a little out of shape there. Bottas are staying in range, but they're not able to break up the fight between myself and Ricciardo for the win. Meanwhile, Danny Kvyat has just gotten by Leclerc for 6th. So Leclerc's issues really affecting him at this point. Best we can to defend. Final section of the race.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
No, we are not, Jeff. Stop talking ridiculousness. Ricardo making a little bit of contact. Slow through those first couple of corners. Ricardo again.
Fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well.
Ooh, and we pushed him off a little bit. Shut Ricardo out a little bit. It's going to give Lewis Hamilton an opening. Can Ricardo hold second? Looks like he can. And he does. Ricardo holds second place. Meanwhile, in a quick update on Esteban Ocon, really does not appear that that strategy to go onto... uh-oh. Oh no, you're joking! Not again!
Green flag.
You have got to be kidding me!
Full course caution.
Oh
The
my
safety car is
God.
out. Keep an eye on the Delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty.
I cannot believe it. For the second year in a row, in the Mexican Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo's engine fails him as he was in a fight for the championship. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe what just happened. Wow. Unbelievable. Daniel Ricciardo, I feel so bad for this man. And what sucks too is that our car is totally upgraded on the durability side, so we have the most durable car in the field, so I don't know what the problem was with his
Coming up to the
engine.
safety car now. Do not pass it. You are the leader. Follow the safety car.
I'm honestly in a state of shock. I can't believe what just happened. Ricardo's engine went out again for the second year in a row at the Mexican Grand Prix as he was in the middle of a fight for the championship. Now, just to take a look, I mean, of course I'm going off memory here. I believe Ricardo came into this race with a 7-point lead.
Daniel's race is
somewhere
over. He's dropped out.
somewhere between 5 and 7-point advantage. I don't know the exact number offhand, so if it's 7 points, then my gap to Ricardo will be 18 points. If it's 5, my gap will be 20, because I have not set the fastest lap in the Grand Prix. I'm sure that's probably Esteban Ocon, if I had to guess. I'm sure that's Esteban Ocon who has the fastest lap at this point. Of course, nobody's going to pit at this point. I mean, our tires are up there in wear. Actually, they're not that bad. So we're probably going to have a 4-lap shootout to decide the Mexican Grand Prix. This is going to be very, very interesting.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Why are you asking me this 2 laps after the fact? Actually, because the one Williams took a long time catching the pack, that means we're going to get a restart with 3 laps to go.
Safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
We're going to get a restart with 3 laps to go. And the DRS will not become active until the last lap of the race. This is going to be a wild finish. I just have a hunch. Or maybe it won't. Maybe I'll hold on to the lead and go on to win the Grand Prix. But I know I got 2 Mercedes behind me that want to spoil my party. I got Bottas, who's still trying his hardest to keep his championship hopes alive. Going into Sao Paulo.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. Safety car is in this lap.
Alright, here we go.
In this lap.
Safety car coming in this lap.
On the restart. Keep it steady until the safety car has reached the pit lane.
we go. 3 laps to go. Mexican Grand Prix. Myself, Hamilton, and Bottas. The fight for the win here. Saved up enough fuel. No need to save any now. Here comes Hamilton looking for a move. Gonna go to the outside. Ooh, tight squeeze. A little bit of contact. He gets set wide. Ooh, we got a big run that time. Almost a second ahead of Hamilton. Sure he's making it all back. Or most of it back in this part of the track right here.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Use your overtake
Almost 3/4
button.
of a second, now less than that, now down to a half second. Of course, no DRS. DRS will be activated on the last lap. Hamilton doing his best to try to close in. Oh, you run wide. If he wants to get me, he's going to have to earn it. Same for Bottas. Oh man, Hamilton is right there.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Squeezed around a little bit. Ooh, ran wide. Hamilton ran wide as well, though.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Here comes Hamilton. Bottas trying to catch up. Trying to use that slipstream. Side by side with Hamilton. Going wide. Maintain position. Great run out of the low speed corner. Here comes Hamilton, DRS to the inside. As they go into the stadium. We hold them off. And we're going to come out of the final corner to win the Mexican Grand Prix.
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
Lance Stroll.
That's a spectacular
Gets
victory.
driver
then,
of the
and with
day.
it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think that smart time management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. And the championship leaders secured more points today, pushing their lead out even further at the top of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant, who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day? Nothing can challenge the leaders of the Constructors' Championship at this point. But, meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, that was the Mexican Grand Prix, and boy oh boy, if things shifted. Myself and the two Mercedes on the podium, Verstappen 4th, Kvyat 5th, Racing Point get 6th and 7th, Renault get 8th and 9th. Not the best result for those guys considering where they qualified. Albon gets 10th, and Leclerc, despite his problems, still salvages an 11th place finish. Championship standings, we'll look at the constructors. Of course, nothing really changed aside from Red Bull jumping Renault, though I thought they were ahead of Renault anyway. But regardless, there's the gap, 19 points. So essentially, if I win the race and Ricciardo finishes second, I will win the Drivers' Championship. It gets a little hairy if I don't win, or essentially Ricciardo needs a good result. He needs a good result to just lessen the gap going into Abu Dhabi any way he can. So there you have it. That was the Mexican Grand Prix.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win? You're leading the championship. Are you happy to be there or feeling the pressure? You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? Appreciate your time.
$1.66 million. $19.39 million.
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
Renew our sponsor for DSP Optics. Need to put that back on the car. Alright, that was the Mexican Grand Prix. I'll see you next time for the Brazilian Grand Prix.